Welcome everyone to Mindful Mondays, a part of the Revolutionary Black Panther Party's Black Power Week. This is our first day, which is today, which is Mindful Monday. I am your host, the General Ahamara Mathis, and today I have a beautiful panel with me today, and we're going to talk about the mental health and physical conditions of Black people inside of our communities. To my right here, I have Miss Jasmine Harris.
Hello.
And Mahogany Lavers.
Yes.
And my good friends here to the left, which are Frank Stoner and John Ya. So let's get started. Let's open up. Mahogany and Jasmine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up y'all's names. They have an organization, a group called Mindful Moments. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So Mindful Moments is a company that is focusing on spreading mindfulness and being a pertinent advocacy for mental health in the community through natural healing alternatives. So a lot of things that we do is offer products and services. So starting with our products, we have aromatherapy jewelry such as bracelets and necklace that are topped with essential oils and kind of promote that healing through smell. So we know that smell can evoke emotions in us. So even then, having this on my necklace, I'm kind of automatically able to relax and able to calm down any nerves that I may have from anything. So things like having aromatherapy at work is awesome, and just having to deal with children or having to deal with stressful situations. We also have scrubs and body butters that just kind of promote wellness with your body. So starting with your body is a way to make sure that your mental health is in check, and also being a resource for different mental health resources. We also offer services such as workshops and children's yoga, as well as family yoga and yoga for adults and families together. Some of the other things that we do is host events. So I have a monthly gathering for Black women called Soul Sisters Healing Circle. So we get together every month with a professional mental health therapist that talk about just self-care and different stresses that we're going through together as a unity of women. So having that space is important for our community because we have to find a way we can feel comfortable, we can feel safe to talk about what happens in the world and how we deal with it. So also having that professional in the space can, send, outsource that therapy is a way to heal and just breaking that mental health stigma in the community. And also with our yoga. Yoga is important because you have to find that way to balance it out. We have health and then we have our physical health. When we put it together, we're able to kind of balance and stress reduce. I hope we all agree that stress reduction is important with us as a people because we're constantly being hit with things that we know is unfair, but we have to deal with it anyway. So starting with that self-power, and yoga can give that self-power because not only is it promoting discipline, with the practice of doing something every day, and even pushing yourself to progress and seeing that progression that you can have when practicing yoga. The breathing portion of it, we know that 3 deep breaths automatically releases that positive hormone, such as serotonin and oxytocin. So having that without needing any tools is a power that no one can take from you. And also including that with your family. So we also specialize in children's yoga. So kids as young as 2 are able to do poses and breathing, and using play is a learning tool, not only for the parents, but for the children as well.
Awesome. I love all of that. I do.
And I'm kind of going to add some more, I'm sorry. Because also with the physical aspect, because I also co-teach a dance fitness class once a month called Sacral Sisters, or Triple S. You can find us on Facebook. But we incorporate dance and fitness together, as well as yoga and meditation, and just being in a space to share our femininity, which is also something that we sometimes fear to have, because us as women, we can kind of put ourselves in a box and say that we can't express ourselves. So just being in another safe space where you can express yourself through dance.
I love it. And I love it because of the sisterhood building.
Mm-hmm.
I think sisterhood is very important. It's something that I treasure myself.
Yes.
So I love what you're doing. I love that. You have anything you want to say?
No. I'm just her assistant. I work for Mindful Moments, and I also work with Play Cousins as well. And
Kristen Williams.
yes, Miss Kristen. But Mindful Moments helps me because I have babies, and it's really like hard for me, like just getting started. So if they're with me, we do yoga together. If they're not with me, I still do it by myself, and I feel so good. If I don't do my yoga, if I don't at least do my breathing, then my day is just like crazy, you know, like, but it just gives you appreciation for just taking the time out to just think before you react, think before, just take a moment just to pause to make sure that you're good within yourself, and then make sure my kids is good, everybody is good. So I love it.
So what does your morning routine look like?
My morning routine, okay. So me and the kids, we do yoga if they feeling up to it. Sometimes today they did not want to do no yoga. But most of the time we get up, we do our yoga, or we might say our prayers together first. And then we do yoga, and then we eat breakfast. Then we get our day started. Most of the time we're at Play Cousins, getting that filled together. And I love it. I love it. Every day is just so wonderful. Being a part of all this mindful activities, being natural, everything. I love this. Like getting back to my roots. It's just me. It's just who I was born to be. A natural Jasmine. My kids too.
Yes,
So I love it.
And I love the increase of consciousness and enlightenment that the period of time that Black people are going through.
Yes.
I really enjoyed that because I know back in 2014 I came through like my enlightenment period, and I was just angry all over the place and stuff. But it was my sisterhood circles that came back and said, you know, you have to pick up this spiritual concept so you can get rid of that rage and that anger. You can direct the the energy into something else. So yes, I love everything. Now let me ask you this: how did you get started?
So I got started about 2 years ago, and that was just I had a kind of like an enlightenment moment too, where I had to take a hold of my own mental health and just noticing that stress is a killer. You know, there is stress-related diseases out there, and then having that experience, it was like, okay, I got to take a hold of it, because even though I am still young, I don't want to look ahead at my elders and see what they're going through and feel that there's nothing I can do about it, you know, because sometimes like, oh, my parents had diabetes or my grandparents have diabetes and I'm prone to have it too, so there's nothing I can do no matter how good I eat. But just breaking that mentality of it and starting my own healing process, I felt that I wanted to go through this with others and building that education and just going through school. So I have a bachelor's in communication and also associates in arts. So just having that communication piece and that art piece and putting it together, I'm like, I have the tools and the knowledge to get out there and share theirs and not just keep it to myself. I think that's very important. So I kind of got with Tarsha Sumakula over with the Butterfly Center. She helped me. I did her entrepreneurship program, which was a 3-month process where we, you know, started from the ground up, learning how to walk on water and just knowing that all the stress that's going to come to you, you're able to handle that and just kind of walk with grace, you know. And I think getting started with that, I just had so many people that was like, I love what you're doing. Let's do this. Let's do that. So that's how I got here and got some good partnerships and support.
I just been,
It's like I need somebody.
I can change my whole
Let's
life.
work on this together.
And
Yeah.
this has been my best friend since middle school. So how she feels is exactly how I feel. How she lived her life is how I lived my life. And I was very rage. Like I had so much rage. I used to want to fight everybody all the time. And then I just went through my life, you know, and I'm like, I really don't even want to fight no more. I just want love. Like, I want everybody to be peaceful. I want peace within myself first. How can I get that? Hold on, sis, what you doing? Like, how can I do this too? Nothing. It's really simple things, you know, to bring you peace. And then once you bring yourself peace, inner peace, then that just goes around everybody. Everybody wants that. If you don't want that peace, if you don't like attract that kind of energy, then stay away from it. You know, that's bad. You know, you're not supposed to even go towards it. Everybody around me is good vibes, good energy. So I just want to stay starting with mindful.
And to piggyback off her just a little bit, so like again, we was going through these motions trying to figure out some ways to promote healing. And so that's how our products came. So, me being, I call it the lab, but me being in there making scrubs together, and our butter whips, it was peaceful. I wasn't worried about anything. And then we started making bracelets. And just imagine having to put a bead on a string and how tedious and focused it pressures you to be. So they was like, wow, we feel so good, and we made them faster, and everything just came together, and they loved it, and it has real results because we use natural products. So I'm always looking for different people to get natural products too to help spread that.
And it's all about self-care too.
Self-care, yes. Self-care
it promotes self-care, especially for somebody like me, a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the night, when the kids is in bed, and you done went through the craziest day, a bath. Oh my goodness!
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let me go ahead and just
bath soak,
and then the body scrub. And I feel so much better coming out the shower. I feel like a whole new person, ready for tomorrow.
Yes.
And then when I go to sleep, I don't know what's going on, but I still need to prepare myself in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I still need to make sure that I'm ready in the morning. But at night, that is my self-care. That's my nighttime routine. So.
The importance of that, especially for women. We could just soak and to rest.
Amazing.
Well, before we get over here to Frank, I want to ask you one last thing, because that's pretty much why I want to ask everybody collectively too. But what are some of the struggles that you may have, like with getting the Black community on board of what you're doing, or some things that you have ran in that have been difficult?
Yes. Well, I would say for like the yoga piece, a lot of people in our community, there is like a hole where they are doing it, but I think my struggle was trying to reach the people who are not doing it. So I did have a space out on Melwood by Crescent Hill. Did not have a good turnout at all, because the people I was trying to reach were not coming out there. They were not. Location was a real big piece. So I'm like, okay, well, let me take a different turn and just go to the people, go to where the kids are, go to where the events are, go to different wellness places, go to different mindfulness events, and just figure out where they're at and how I can appease to them. So just going there has helped me a lot. And just doing things like this where I'm connecting, just getting it out there of the importance, and I think the capability, because sometimes yoga can clash with, their beliefs and different things like that. But just like anything in the world, we can interpret it with our own intentions. So like just the physical benefits of it and the breathing, like, that doesn't have to clash with any religion. I don't promote my beliefs onto anybody, but my practice is my practice, just like anybody's individual practice and eating thing is going to be their own.
Yeah.
So that's the
Same
struggle.
thing. Like, it was kind of hard for me to get all the way on board with my sister because the way I was born, I came from a real religious family, and yoga is just not like with it, but as I became more spiritually conscious within myself, I have found peace, and I know that it's okay. What I'm doing is okay. I mean, I'm just relaxing my body, trying to get it to,
just breathing.
And breathe.
It is, it's stretching.
I don't want to do no working out, doing, I don't want to run.
Lifting weights.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that too, that lifting weights and stuff like that can damage the body. And I know like bodybuilders and everybody have
Depression.
for it.
I do it for the balance,
it's not really good
for the flexibility,
Mm-hmm.
for the piece of it. That's really me. Like she said, you do your own interpretation. That's my interpretation. I'm just trying to be peaceful. I'm not trying to do nothing spiritual, like to mess me up in like the craziest ways. No, I'm just trying to be at peace with my body. That's me.
I got a question. You mentioned your breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a connection between what you're teaching to nutrition?
Mm-hmm.
Direct connection.
I would say yes. Just because it's kind of like, it's like a mind, body, spirit connection. I feel it's always connected. Because I think what you eat and how you digest will kind of make it harder. Because imagine if I have a lot of grease and a lot of heavy things on my stomach, trying to breathe clearly, it would kind of constrict, or even meditation. when you want clarity in your mind. If you have a lot of sugar in your body, you feel that your mouth is a little dehydrated more. And that kind of would just cloud your judgment. It would cloud your ability to meditate, So I always suggest, let's have some water before we start. Let's have some water when we end, because you want to keep that flow, just slouching and everything is all connected, in my opinion.
It's like I don't know. I've noticed it too. Like as far as eating, if you eat healthier, meditation, that part is very like you'll be more in tune with yourself, knowing that you're feeding your body good stuff, and there's good stuff already inside of your body, and you just feel so much better. You're really able to think clear. Like I'm serious. Your meditation, that is your inner mind, like telling you what you need to, whatever, And when you eat better, you do better.
And speaking speaking of health, to my left, I have Mr. Frank Stoner with Health Daddy Wow. How do I look? This is how I look at Frank. You know how, and I just said this before we had started, but when you see CVS's and Walgreens and stuff like that, like that's gonna be Frank in the future. Like how you got the pharmacy in the back, it's gonna be him in the back. I don't know what's gonna be going on in the front. It'll be it'll be a big store of black products being stuff being sold, but the pharmacy in the back is gonna be Health Daddy Wow. You know what I'm saying? So, but Frank, and I used to work for Frank too. I was in between jobs and things and stuff like that, and he did hire me on. I helped make teas and capsules, and I appreciate you. The black man put money in my pocket.
That's right.
But please tell us about Health Daddy Wow.
Okay, it's funny because I wasn't thinking about being Health Daddy Wow before. It just never crossed my mind. It just happened to come about. I was just trying to get myself healthy because I was going through a lot of things. And we were sitting here talking, and I heard the young lady talk about when she was small, and all of us pretty much, we grew up on a certain diet. We grew up on a certain food pyramid, and it destroyed. I don't know about you all, but it destroyed my stomach. The white rice, the white breads, the white sugars, the milks, which I loved, the white, the milk, and as a kid, I need to go back there real quick. As a kid growing up, I was highly constipated, and and the body is really wonderful because I dealt with this. It didn't start to bother me until I was 38 years old, to the point where it affected my mental. And we was just talking about yoga. We was talking about breathing and eating all that crazy stuff and not having a clear gut, so to speak. It affected me in my stomach. I was hallucinating. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I kept running back and forth to the doctor because I knew something was wrong with me, but their equipment, what they was testing me with, didn't show what was going on with me. So they would send me out of there and say, they pretty much, I really thought I was going insane. I really did. So, I don't know, one night, I just woke up and said, you gotta take control of your own health. You gotta do what you need to do to get yourself on your feet, because I don't know what it was. It was just awakening. So, I started reading, I guess this big, thick nutritional book. I don't know why I started there first, but I read what every vitamin and every herbal or what have you could help with the body, or what vitamin you need and what vitamin did what. I read African books, I read Chinese herbal books, I read Indian, and I just read it all. So I figured out how to take herbals and I needed help to help cleanse out. So I went to herbals. And I started to flush myself with these good herbs. And it began to work. I started to get my clarity back. I started to lose weight. I started to feel really good. So I was just doing that for a while, and I was just feeling really good. So it became to where I got to tell my family about this. I got to tell the world about this. And so when you go to your family with things like it's like a lifestyle change I didn't know at the time, and you doing something different, that's a challenge.
Yes.
Because they thinking something wrong.
Yeah.
Something wrong with him. And I used to say, look, I'm your brother. Y'all love me. Y'all know y'all do. So what's wrong with this lifestyle change? What's going on with it? I don't eat that stuff no more. I don't do this. I don't do that. And it was just a challenge. And one day, somebody just asked me to, could I? It was just a couple of people that I got on board or what have you, and they asked me, well, can I get what you're doing? Or, I need a good cleaning out, and it kind of started from there. I started to do little small products here. I started to study other brothers. And then let me go to, am I answering the question?
Oh yeah,
What you asked?
we vibing. Go ahead.
Because I'm all over. Sometimes I get all over the place, y'all. Come on.
Right, go back and be like, I remember when I was 20.
So coming up, when we having our conversations earlier about these different health stores, so-called health stores. So I started out with them, to tell you the truth, and I would go in there and I get their vitamin C, and I get their center, or I get whatever there that I thought I needed, but I didn't feel right. I didn't feel, it just didn't feel right. So I learned later that they dealt with a lot of synthetics.
Yes.
And their vitamin C is made from ascorbic acid, which, ascorbic acid is in vitamin C, but it's from plants. And you don't go, but their vitamin C, they go in the laboratory and they try to copy vitamin C from nature. And you can't do it. And then that's when I learned that these people aren't for me. And I started, and believe it or not, when I started to really learn about health and really learn about plants, it took people who look like me. It took brothers. It was brothers who told me, you need to start fasting, you need to start meditating, you need to get some plants. You need to stay away from them chemicals. And it's this one company that I deal with. And I'm not ashamed to give them a shout out, theherbs.com. Them brothers saved my life. I'm telling you, they saved my life. They really did with their products. They taught me the difference between plant-based and the synthetics that are going on out there. They taught me how to eat right. They told me what. See, a lot of people think, and that's another reason why I became health daddy. A lot of us think we're eating right. I eat a good diet. But the nutritional, the nutritional guideline in the United States, way off base, especially for us. And we think we're doing right. We think we can still eat these yogurts, and we still can drink these milks, and we still can eat peanut butter on crackers and these kind of things every single day, and we doing all right, So I had to, I wanted to get out there and tell people about, you can't eat these so-called, really starchy things every day, like I did when I was growing up. The rice, the white rice, the oatmeal and stuff like that. Just every day. I just don't agree with that. We didn't, and I started to eat more fruits. They started telling me, I never ate fruits. I never ate vegetables. So I tell a lot of people who come in my shop, I started out just like you. And don't stress yourself, because I have a little sheet when I do give people a cleanse that I recommend for them and I make myself, I give them a little guideline on what to eat and drink. And they look at it like it's foreign. And I said, well, don't stress yourself. Just do the best you can. You know, I was just like you. So, I said, introduce yourself to mangoes. You know, and I never tried mangoes, kiwi, papayas, and just plain pineapples. Pineapples I eat coming out of a can. So, all this stuff, it just changed my life. And I had to tell the world. And I was using the brothers' products, which was really good to start my business off with. And then I said, I can make my own. I can do that. I can go to the same concept. And then a lot of their products, which is good, they had combinations. So I said, I give people a single herb. I give people a ginger. I give people beets. If people want beets, I give people spinach. If people, lady come in there and said, my daughter never wants to eat anything green. I said, well, you want to take it in a capsule? She's like, I think I can handle that. So I sold her, I get, she buys spinach. And, we don't know what elderberries are. It sold me. We don't know what wheatgrass is, barley grass. And it's, like I said, this lifestyle has changed my life and for the good. My father left me when I was 35 years old. And I'm glad that I'm not doing my grandkids like that. I'm 57 now. And, we gotta be here. One thing we gotta know is we gotta be here for them in this journey in life. And I was saying the other day, my granddaughter, she wouldn't know this. When I grew up, all fruits had seeds. So I got to be one of the ones to be here telling that. All fruits had seeds, baby. When I was growing up, so so health did why I was born, because my health deteriorated to the point where I couldn't go to nobody else for my health. I had to take control of myself, and I decided to when I got myself together, the best I could. That's when I started to. Because I love my brothers and sisters. I just love my peeps. So I had to, some kind of way, get this message to them. And I'm telling you, I've been in business for 6 years, and nobody came in the door the first couple of years. And it's a whole lot better now. It's a whole lot better.
That's what's up. So, and like I was directing towards them, like those struggles, like even that first year or two, and it was hard to get people to come through. What is different now? What makes you think? I mean, not make you think. What has
different
happened?
now?
Yeah, what's different now? So where now people come through the door?
What's different now is education. Educating them. When I told you about them brothers D Herbs, and they had a website. And you know how we are with our people. When them brothers came along, let me go back real quick to this one book I read. It was a white guy who wrote it. And he told me about the Whole Foods Rainbow Blossom. I didn't know nothing about them. So in his book, it says something about Whole Foods Rainbow Blossom. I went right out there and started purchasing. Didn't even question. So them brothers, when I found them, it's like, you need to do this. Their website. It was a good thing, too. I went on there. I read everything they had to read on it before I even purchased for them brothers. I had a fear, big time fear of them. Like, they don't know what they doing. They don't know what they talking about. I'm not embarrassed to say that now, but I did. I read everything. I mean, all the way down to the copyright. But they was the best thing for me. They was the best thing for me. So I educated myself. So when everybody who comes in my shop, and they said that my education is free. They educate you for free. Yeah. So everybody come in my shop, I educate. What's different now is the ones that come in who are educated in the so-called holistic world, are plant-based. They went out and educated, and then they went out and educated. And most of my businesses from people who who word of mouth. We told other people who have gotten results from what we're trying to do, you know.
And I've referred people over to you because they'll tell me like their health problem. I'm like, listen, just go to Health Day. Well, just tell him what's wrong, and he's got you. He's got something in there that you need. Like, just go. He's gonna tell you what diet you need to have, what these are the herbs and whatever you need to use. Boom, just go. And they have, and they was like, thanks. I went down and seen him. And I like going in there too because I can get also my spiritual needs in there as well. Because you with the sage and candles and Deneen, Miss Deneen. Shout out Miss Deneen.
Shout out Miss Deneen. Can do it without her.
Right, does hair in the shop, but she also makes jewelry too as well. Actually, I got a ring. I just went in the other day to buy some savings, so she's got a ring that she's making for me. So.
And that's true. You got to have a strong woman behind you. And I'm telling you, I'm not there. I do something else, in the daytime, and to bring in the bread, so to speak. And she's there every day, every single day, and she does it. She really do. So I really appreciate her.
Have your business picked up? I mean, I met you when you was at one location, now you're at another location. Has your business picked up because you're at that location or because you promoted it more when you start going on Facebook?
Brother, I'm glad you asked that question. I found out, okay, again, my mindset. I wasn't looking for my people to really support what I was doing. You understand what I'm saying? So I called myself when I first got my place. I was gonna move like halfway. I was gonna meet, I want the white folks involved because I really thought they knew more than the black folk, and so I put it right there in the middle. But the universe is great, though, bro. I kept saying that we need a place. I wanted to involve my son in it too. But we ended up getting a place closer downtown to our people. And kind of find out 90% of my customers came from down there.
I believe you.
90% of them. So they like, man, I'm closer now. Now they just run over when they get out of work. They run over and they get what they need and they gone. So it has drastically increased because of the move to down there to one of my people. So it is not true that black folk don't want help. They appreciate me. I appreciate them. So we can remove that right now. The ones who do want it. We it's still a battle. It's still a fight. But right, yes. I moved down there closer to them, and they have responded greatly.
I see it myself. I mean, we just now meeting face to face, but even on Facebook and stuff, everybody always talking about Health Dirty Whack. Look, I knew about elderberry before you even said something about it. Let me tell you, no, I'm not. Because you already know. But I'm just saying, like, I knew about you already because in the people I'm around, they are trying to just be natural.
And we have to change the narrative with that. So I also want black people that's watching out in the world that we have to change the narrative and don't allow other people to change say that narrative for us. We do have a lot of community and a lot of support. We're not all in one spot, but it's definitely there. And again, I feel like Louisville is a very sacred and holy place. And with this new Black Liberation Front that's coming through, because it's coming, it's already here. It's here. When we pull that all together, you're going to see the rise in consciousness, the rise in power, our economics, our political, and we're going to run with it. I can totally see it. I can feel it. It is here, So we can't allow, media, news, or whatever to paint this image of the black community here in Louisville. No, we're actually more unified than we think. We really are. We're just in different little huts, and when you get all those huts together, it's gonna be a powerful thing. It's gonna be a powerful thing.
Let me say something real quick. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. You just spoke on black media. I have a chance to sit here and say it's not true. Don't believe that most black people don't want help. And it's a lot of them that do. It's more not, but it's a lot of them that do. So we got to cater to them. So it's so important, the media.
And you want to say something?
Yes, real quick. The same way you educated yourself, well, you had other people to help you, but you start reading, you start doing that on your own. same way my sister did, same way I bet you did, same way I'm doing as far as my spirituality and stuff. You have to read on this on your own.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to educate yourself on these things. Nobody's gonna teach you the real way of living for you, the best way of living. You have to teach yourself that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just best that we educate ourselves, then help other people. I think that, like, this is so awesome.
One more thing before we get with my brother here, because my dad, I'm can't wait to hear it. But the fear, we talk about, I want to talk about the fear keeps a lot of people away from what we're doing. I mean, burning sage. I've had people who, they're scared of burning sage. But it's what we grow up with. It's what we grow up with. And it's a shame, but we getting that mindset, and with this media, and these platforms, we're going to get rid of this mindset, and we're going to be all right. I'm telling you.
Somebody gonna hear us. We gonna hear us. Our people
That's
gonna.
right.
They hear us.
Only the strong survive in this world anyway.
Black power. I like that. And so last, and a good friend of mine too as well, Mr. John Ya. He also specializes in holistic health, mental, spiritually, and physically. And like we've all been waiting for this moment. Whenever you see him, whether he's on conscious fever, it don't matter where he is. He's gonna turn it out. Okay. He also was the instructor for our spiritual wellness classes with the Black Panther Party, and so we appreciate you for that. And that helped us as an organization, as a group, especially when it comes to the topic of manifestation. The Black Panther Party does have a vision. We are a military and a political party, and there's a lot of things that we want to do, and we have a strong vision, an ancient old vision, honestly, that we know that we have adopted from our ancestors. So with doing that, there's going to have to be some type of intent in mental and physical and spiritual well-being, and we were so honored to have John come and teach us those things. And so that's what we're going to just jump on into right now. Tell us your expertise when it comes to holistic health and spirituality.
Well, first, my name is John Ya, and I own Sayo Baba and Soap Stick products that are in Louisville, Lexington, and Cincinnati. And so this is my 20th year in business, actually.
Congratulations.
So it plays a role in how I manifested this type of business, how I came about it, and this is what my writing is about also in the upcoming book. So holistic for me go way back to certain women that came into my life, even in all the elements. Okay, so my company is a fragrance company. So I own a company that has a brand called Sayo Baba Incense. We have them all over the city. We in Louisville.
That's the instant name, y'all. I'm sorry. Every time you like what, you be like, it smells
I think
amazing.
I just got some. Where you selling it?
The stores, everywhere. All the stores.
It's like corner stores.
Yeah.
So I just got some from you yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I started 20 years ago, actually. It was my first wife. She had brought, and you mentioned something that brought that back to me. Fragrances and smells, it's entwined with memory. Okay? So if you smell something for a period of time on someone, it's connected to the memory of the person. And so then, therefore, if you can smell it on someone else, you'll think of the person. They're not even around because it's entwined. So I started understanding fragrances, but she would bring in a particular fragrance called Precious Chandan. And she bought it from a health food store. And she would only burn it when it was time for us to have sex. That was our love-making call. If I came home and I was smelling Precious Chandan, I knew what was up. She's back there in the bedroom late, right? Same when she came home from work and I was burning, so it was a communication because she was married to an African before. And what we did was created our own culture because this culture is communication. Okay, so we used the fragrance to communicate. That was culture. That was our culture in our home. So Amazing Grace stopped selling Precious Chandan. You know, my heart dropped. Wait a minute, now you done took my sex book. So I actually went to the owner, and he gave me the name of the company he was buying from out of Hawaii. So I contacted the company. Of course, they had a $100 minimum. I said, wow, I don't want to buy that much. But so I bought other fragrances, and being an incense person back in the day of selling incense out on the corner, I bought $100 worth and I started selling it on my job and in the streets. So it became so popular that my wife and I started. Back then it wasn't email, so we had to write letters to the companies in India to sell us their products. And they sent us a price list. Boom, I sent my tax money, and that's how the business started, right? So, yeah, right, that's right. So then in 2000 and maybe 2002, maybe 2003, I was having heart problems. When my father died at 46. So I was having these palpitations in my heart. And it would make me sit down and just, you know. And I was thinking, my dad, damn, and I was getting close to, I was in my 30s then. I was in my mid 30s. And so I was thinking of my father passing at 46. I'm like, wow, now his brother died at that age too. And my brother being on high blood pressure. So I remember listening to this song, because I was always thinking about health. Oh man, because my first wife did get me off processed food, but she didn't know no more than that. That was as far as she went. So I remember listening to this reggae song called Night Nurse by Gregory Isaac. I don't know if you heard it, but if you ever listened to it, right? It's called My Night Nurse. So there was a teacher, an old teacher of mine, that y'all know him as Baba, Master Calvin. He would tell me, when I see him, he would say, hey, we're doing Tai Chi on top of Amazing Grace. And so every time he would see me, he'd say, hey, you're doing Tai Chi on top of Amazing Grace. But I kept saying, yeah, I'm going to come. And I never showed up. And then one time I saw him, and I said, I'm coming. And so that Saturday morning, because I'm usually out of town, on Saturday morning, I'm going to study Tai Chi. And so then that's when I met this woman named Sayati. She was out of D.C., and she was my health nutritionist. That's how I got into eating healthy and consciousness. That's when I started studying about health. What was a vegan? What was plant-based? Who am I? What should I be eating? Right? Because everybody's body's different. Mm-hmm. And so when I started studying about that, I tried being a vegan, and I tried these things, and of course getting off meat and the process of it. And learning about protein, where was the protein going to come from? All these things I had to get into order and understanding. There was a lot of failures in it. I started juicing. So before I met her, I went to the doctor, and they sent me to Jewish hospital and put me on this heart monitor thing and said that I have a closed artery. And they have to send a stent through my leg to open it up. I'm like, whoa. I went to Tai Chi. I met Sayati. And the diet changed. So a year and a half went by. I just went to get a physical. I never followed up on the doctors at Jewish Hospital. And so I went to my regular doctor, and I forgot all about that whole thing, actually. And they said, why we send you down? What happened? I said, none, I never went. And so they looked at all my check-ins and values and all everything, my vital signs and everything. Said, wow, it's a big difference. He said, what did you do? I said, I just changed my diet. I started juicing. I got out processed food. I got rid of the sugar. Everything she took me through. It was hard at first because it was about changing my palate. Getting away from sugar, getting away from these things that you was addicted to. She started putting me on raw foods. We would have a one day a week of just raw, the whole day. Raw oats, juice. And the way she prepared the food, she prepared everything raw, which means nothing was heated up, right? And you thought you was tasting something that she would make what was called nut meat out of different nuts and sauce with a dip with some crackers. You thought you was eating meat. So it's nuts, cashews and stuff made together. It's crazy, right? So I started learning stuff differently because it was the taste bud. People are addicted. Addiction is in the taste bud that's connected to our cell memories in our body. See, when you eat food, it becomes this. I'll give you an example. If I showed you a strawberry for the first time, it's the first time y'all saw a strawberry. You first saw it and you saw the color and the shape. Immediately you have created a molecule in your brain in the memory of color and shape. There's two molecules right there and they're connected together. Of course, the third one, because I told you it was a strawberry. So that's three molecules connected to that. Now, if you taste it, that's another molecule you put in your brain. You smell it, that's 5 molecules. So therefore, you can be thinking about a strawberry, you know what it tastes, smell, look like, and everything. And in fact, if you start thinking about it, it almost feels like you're eating one, right? So this is what food does, right? So, and I started studying about the detox and everything and how food reacts. Is that we have what is called membranes. They're all in our body, right? Membranes are in your body. And so what happened is that if you've been a child or if you're going through life and you have received trauma, the trauma of the situation that's happening, the brain sees it. It's scary. It goes to the body. The membranes relax, the memory of that trauma relax inside the body. This was why in the workshop, when we did the breathing, I asked everybody to relax and try to stay relaxed during the whole lecture. Then you notice I stopped the lecture in the middle and asked you to relax again because membranes rises up with memory. In other words, your memory is connected to your muscles, right? So you can think of something and you don't even know you're tensing up. You don't even know why you're tensing up, right? So, but here's the thing about that memory inside the membranes. If you had a trauma in your life that even though you didn't like that trauma now, if it was trauma over and over again, that trauma now is recorded all up and down your body. So that membrane in your body can trigger your subconscious to reproduce that scenario again because it misses the feeling of feeling it. It's just like a drug, it's just like anything else. So the membrane that's in your body will say, hey, we want to feel abused. And the subconscious will reproduce that matter again to feed the membranes. This is why the mind is not in the brain, but the brain is in the mind. The whole body is the mind. When you have a bad feeling about something, where does it come from? It's a gut feeling. You can't interpret it to your brain because you have disconnected your thoughts from your body. So you don't know why you're feeling low. Why do I feel nervous? Why do I feel uncomfortable around this person? You don't know. You can't read because you're not able to read self. There's a disconnecting between the neck, the head, and the body. So we don't understand that there's membranes. So when you have a gut feeling, that's telling you something. There's a sign there. When you have a feeling about something, no different than a food. One thing I studied in marketing, when I was studying marketing, I realized I was studying psychology. Because foods play the same role when they're manufacturing, which is not only synthetic food, but processed food. They have a chemical component lodged in there that they call it an IP, intellectual property. And it lodges in your brain. Taste buds. Coca-Cola has an IP. Pepsi has an IP. Yet they look alike, but they both taste different. It has an IP in it. That one can't interfere or infringe on their IP. That IP is a molecule that goes inside your brain that's connected to your taste buds. So what that does is that's connected to your subconscious. So you could be driving down the street unaware of what you're doing, and this is why you see billboards and signs everywhere. Well, guess what? You're driving down the street paying attention to where you're driving, and here comes a sign, Coca-Cola. You didn't see it because you're watching forward, but your subconscious saw it through your peripheral vision. Next thing you know, your next stop, you got a craving for a Coke. You don't even know why. You picked up a Coke instead of water. Right, because they're playing games with us, and we're unaware of the games they're playing. So this is serious. This is what you would call bio warfare against us, whether we're unaware of how it works. So a lot of us carrying around. Well, let me go back to the pain body, because that's what it's called. In a certain part of study, it's called pain body. Oprah even recognized it when she had Eckhart on her show, Eckhart Tolle. And she was talking about why you see Oprah sign on to only movies of suffering, pain, abuse, molestation. All the movies she touches are part of what she suffered. Her body's craving for it. And that's why when people go to scary movies, they keep going to scary movies over there. Keep going to ballad movie, keep going to ballad movie. You're triggering something that you don't know you're triggering. So the problem is that you're unaware of the trigger. So when you do something unconscious, you find yourself doing the same old thing over and over again because you're unconscious. The way to re-upload new information is stay conscious. Not allow yourself to fall for that feeling of doing this. Right? And so this plays a role why relationships don't work a lot of time because people bring old baggages of the old memory into the new relationship that's called triggers. Oh, you said what he said. You said what he said. How you gonna right? That's triggers. So we never ever got over how to retrain the brain to not react to triggers. It's the same thing as food addiction. They're triggers, and it's connected to if you're sad and you eat a lot, guess what? Every time you're sad, you trigger eat. Because why? It's the habit mind. Everything you do in a habit is a habit. And there's two different types of minds. There is the impulse mind, and there's the active mind. The impulse mind just follow impulse because it's already been uploaded into the brain. Just watch what it does naturally. Watch what you do unconsciously. It's the same old thing over and over and over. That's the impulse mind. It's easy to find an impulse mind. Just watch what they do. It's easy to upload information to an impulse mind and continue to do the same thing. An active mind is different. An active mind has the ability to overload the impulse and say, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. I don't want that no more. Once you deny yourself something, you immediately start to rewire the neurons in your brain. Immediately they start to, see, neurons are connected like this. Okay? You keep it connected like that. You don't learn nothing new. It's just like this all the time. It's the same shit, same shit. When you learn something, it does this. New connections in the brain.
You can feel that too.
You can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it is a part of how awakening. So when we're talking about mental health, whoa, if you're not talking about the membranes and people suffering from pains inside their body that can react the subconscious to produce that scenario again. And we wondering why we keep running into the same relationship over and over. Why I keep producing this crazy ass bitch? You know? Or can I say that, right? Or this man in my life, I keep getting the same man that keep on hitting me in the face. Because you keep triggering. It's a trigger. And when you understand subconscious and how to manifest, where you are today is what you have already manifest. In other words, you can't have what you ain't already got. You have to already have it here first before you can have it in this dimension. So if your dimension is struggle, hardship, whatever, that means that your subconscious does not agree with whatever you're trying to get forward. If you're trying to have success over here, as soon as you get ready to get there, poof, it disappears. Subconscious did not agree with it because subconscious is driving your dimension. What you have to do is line up subconscious with consciousness. Well, they're in the same alignment. Okay, you with me? I'm with you. Now we can produce some stuff.
Because we are running out a little bit of time. But now let's touch on that for just 1 second. How do you retrain the subconscious mind so where it's in alignment with conscious?
Okay. There's a couple of reasons you can do it. It's real simple. You can listen to, well, let me first talk about theta wave. Theta wave is the part of the brain between woke and sleep. It's really hypnosis. This is why people listen to affirmations at night over and over and over again while they fall asleep. We're allowing their subconscious to pick this information up so that when you wake up the next day, whatever you put into your subconscious, you do it effortlessly. It just happens to you. Comes your way. You ain't got to seek it. It comes your way. You can do that or staying focused. See, focus is the retraining. So, I give you an example. If you're thinking about the future or the past, actually you are asleep. You're not woke. You're not conscious. You're unconscious. And subconscious is now in control of the life of your life, right? When you're conscious is when, let's say I'm working on a project, and I always work on projects in my business. When I'm focusing on a project, how I want my logo to look, how I want this logo designed, what I want this logo to say. Real time right now, I am focused. Right? I'm retraining my subconscious because it's listening to me. See, subconscious can only win when you're off thinking. When you're focused, subconscious does this. Okay, well, listen to whatever you say. Staying focused means now. Where are you now? Right now. Where are you right now? Because this is the only moment that you really find life. Life ain't where you think it's going to be. Life ain't where you thought it was. If you can't find life at this moment, you are in a serious delusion. And this is the best you got, baby. I would ask the person, what's the best part of your life? And they would say, well, back when I was in Florida. I said, wow, really? Oh, it's going to be when I get this money, I get this new job, I'm going to start traveling. That's the best part of your life? Really? You missed it then. Because your cells are living right now. And they're manifesting stuff. So if you're unconscious, your body's already vibrating a manifestation. And one more thing about manifestation. So we hear a lot about manifestation, laws of attraction, blah, blah, blah. I read them all. I read Napoleon Hill stuff. I read a lot of stuff. So in my writing, I saw something different that wasn't actually connected to this, how you manifest. How can you manifest what you want? How can you manifest it through the hardest, deepest of times in your life? How is it possible? Okay? So there's a couple of components that you got to have with that. Okay, yes, you can sit there and listen to affirmations. You can sit there and say something over and over again. Okay? But that's only a part of it. Here's why. When I mentioned about, you got over 100 trillion cells in your body. And each cell has a billion molecules. One cell has a billion molecules. And molecules are clusters of atoms that are vibrating like this, right? They're vibrating, vibration, right? So what is an atom? An atom is a neutron, proton, and electron going around it vibrating. So everything's like this, right? So everything's moving. You see nothing standing still, actually. Everything's moving. We taught that in school, right? Elementary. When you see something like this standing still, it's not standing still. Right? So it's called a vibration. Well, a vibration is a frequency that you vibrate, that you send. Right? So when you have a thought is called psychoneuroimmunology, meaning that if you have a thought of an ideal, it is a hologram in your brain. And that's called, the science calls it psychoneuroimmunology. When you hold that thought for a period of time, the thought becomes a feeling. You hold a feeling for a period of time, a thought becomes an emotion. Holding emotion for a period of time, that thought becomes a mood. And you can see a mood is the difference between emotion and mood. So when you're having a thought about something, guess what that's doing? It sends a neurotransmitter down to your heart. Your heart is the pumping ground, which is the chakra for sending out information to the universe, for the universe to read. Your gut feeling reads the universe, what it's telling you, your surroundings. Your top of your crown, your top chakra is your antennas. Your third eye is what kind of you can see forward in life. But you got to create a neurotransmitter and the vibration to make it happen. So what do I mean by that? If you have a thought about something you want to be, do, or have, you got to create a feeling about it. You got to make it feel like, what would you feel like if you had it right now? Like if you want that Mercedes, what would it feel like right now? That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's manifesting. That's how you manifest. That's how you get the universe to read. See, universe don't read, oh, I want a car. I want a car. You don't know what the hell that means. No, that's a signal you send. A signal. You send a signal. It reads signals. It don't know language. It knows signals.
You have to have the feeling.
The feeling. You got to bring a feeling into it. Hey, it looks like this. If you think about a fight you had tomorrow, or you're going to have tomorrow, or you think about a fight you had yesterday, what happens? A neurotransmitter, it's called dopamine, sends down to your body, your heart starts pumping. Yeah, you're ready to fight, but ain't no fight around. You're going to fool yourself. But what you have done is send a chemical into your body. And if you don't work out that specific chemical, it becomes toxic in your body. So you got to burn it off, exercise. What am I saying? I'm saying that's the neurotransmitter. So the same thing about your thoughts of what you want, make it feel good. Ah, yes, that's how it's going when I get that. That's the neurotransmitter, and that's what you send into the universe, because that's what the heart does. The heart is the biggest vibrator in the body. This is what's sending vibration. This is what receiving, your lower chakra receives vibration. This is how you can tell your surroundings. It's through the lower chakras.
So manifestation happens when you have an active mind.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, an active mind is the one that's in control of the impulse mind.
Okay.
You got to have an active mind if you want to think forward in the future.
That just made me think about, because like like I said, I work with families and in social work, and it made me think about like same thing with the brain, like the brain stem, where that survival mode is, and how it's the closest to our limbs and how we act off impulse because we're living in that brain stem, so we can try to be, in the higher, like the prefrontal cortex, where we're able to have that active mind, that wise mind. Yes. So like having everything, just being able to think about it before we act. I think that's what we need to help increase that capability to think just exactly what you said and understand that.
There's a saying in martial arts, and I remember from Grandmaster Cook, where when we were doing something, we would do it slow. And so we would continue to do the same thing slow. And what we were doing was creating what is called muscle memory. So what happens is that when you do that over and over again, you don't have to think about it. It happens automatically, right? So because the brain is now connected, the body is now connected. So what that means really also is it means that subconscious is in line with consciousness. We in alignment. That's when you know whatever you're going for is guaranteed to get it. But if your subconscious is working against you because it doesn't, let me tell you something really interesting. The word bougie Negro. Who wants to be a bougie Negro? Right? So what happens when you say bougie Negro and that neurotransmitter just made you feel, I'll sell that nigga with money. A nigga that got money, he's way out, he's got a big house and stuff. Well, let me tell you what happens when you do that. If you vision wealth, you don't know your ass is black. So you vision wealth and wealth. But check this out. There's a blockage that might not let you get that wealth because you have a stigma against bougie Negroes that's connected to wealth. And you don't want to be a bougie, but you want to be black. But you want that money, but you don't want. So you see, that could be a blockage. There can be simple blockage that can block us from getting what we want. Simple blockage. And there's a way that I explain about earthing. You can do earthing to figure out, do you have a blockage? And it'll tell you if you have a blockage. How do you search your brain to find out if you have a blockage that's stopping you from succeeding in what you want in life? And that's called earthing.
I guess it's because I don't want to be called a bougie Negro. I want to be called a wealthy. It's not. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Because in my head, I might be the most bougiest person, but I don't want to be labeled that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a. Oh, now I gotta think of it.
See, so bougie just means a person who wants the best of everything.
Yeah, and they carry themselves.
It's a black person that wants the best.
Okay.
See, rich black people don't call each other bougie. That's a poor black man's word. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
That can block you because that's a poor black man's concept, not a rich black man's concept, because rich black people don't call themselves bougie. They don't do it. Okay?
Oh my God, wait. Because our time is kind of coming to the end. But, oh my God, isn't he powerful?
Yeah.
And for hours, you can sit and watch him for hours and listen to him for hours and just be like, oh my God. And we thank you for coming, all of you all, for participating. And so real quick, before we get out of here, because tomorrow is Buy Black Tuesday, we want to patronize all black businesses in Louisville on this particular day. So, please, we're at Mindful Moments. Contact information, locations.
You can find us on Facebook, Mindful Moments Mo, or on Instagram, Mindful Moments LLC. We'll also be selling products too, so make sure y'all shop with us on that on the Facebook page tomorrow.
Okay. And Frank?
You can come and visit me at Health Anywhere, 1806 Ralph Avenue. Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7, Sunday, 12 to 5.
John?
Yes, well, of course, according to me, black what?
Black Tuesday?
Yeah, Black Tuesdays for what?
Patronizing black businesses.
Well, every day is Black Tuesday for me, so hey, every day look for a black product to buy in one of those independent stores. Make it every day.
Matter of fact, I have the soap stick brand actually in my store.
And so, please join us for the rest of the week of events. So tomorrow is Buy Black Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday we will be at Roots 101 African American Museum. it will, excuse me, the times are on Wednesday is from 5 to 9. That's our family fun nights. And Thursday we have a poetry and a silent auction. So definitely come out with that. On our last day, it's Friday, is the Black Power State of the Union address that will be delivered by me. We will also have, it's a banquet and award ceremony. So we have some wonderful people that we're honoring and recognizing. We have Baba Dr. Sarah Colley, who we was speaking about. He will be doing a book signing from 6 to 6:45. And then he's also one of our honorees, along with Attica Scott, Shamika Parrish Wright, Eddie Davis, Shirley May, the Louisville Chargers, and our young black activist, Cam. I can't think of his name right now, and I don't want to mess it up. So please come out to all of our events. You can come to the Revolutionary Black Panther Party page on Facebook. You can also follow me on Facebook at Ahamara Mathis. And yes, and thank you all for tuning in to Mindful Monday, and we thank you. Black Power. Revolution.
Great show! Absolutely!
I need y'all like every day.
Join the Panthers with us.
How can I? Like, what do I gotta do?
Get them applications, bro.